What's up, bro? So, I'm just gonna talk to you because I've been having a realization about something recently, and you'll have to excuse me. I have a cold right now. I'm fasting for like the next 6 to 7 days. So, I have a cough drop in my mouth and I'm drinking some tea. But you have to become your own father. That's one of the things I realized about growing up. I'm 25 years old now, and I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to open my mouth. I don't want to sit in front of this camera. I don't want to do anything, really. I woke up this morning like, wow. I know I said I'd go to the gym today, and I know I said I'd record a video last night, but I don't want to do any of it. And then I realized, after a few minutes of debating with myself if I should actually do anything or not, that I was listening to my feelings. Feelings which I can't even trust because they're gonna pass. And I was relying on motivation. I was thinking that when I woke up, I'd actually feel motivated to do this. And the motivation was non existent. So, being your own father really means taking responsibility for everything that happens. But not only that, it's also finding a way to motivate yourself to do the things that need to be done. Because the other day I had a realization that it doesn't matter if you're a man or if you're a woman, you're gonna have to become a parent to somebody someday. The first person you're gonna become a parent to is yourself. Before you can become a parent to a child, you must first become a parent to you. And that's a hard thing. That's a responsibility that I was not looking forward to at all. It's what people call adulting. Is when you actually fully accept the responsibilities of becoming an adult and stop trying to run away from them. My form of escapism was always drugs. Video games and drugs is mostly what I did to get away from the fact that I wasn't a child anymore. I was grieving the fact that I wasn't the same Andrew I was growing up. And it sucked because I resisted it. And what you resist persists. So, in order to actually be your own father, like what does that look like? If you can think back to when you were growing up, your parents would have plans for things, right? Like maybe you went on vacation one time. Somebody was the brains behind that entire trip. For me, it was always my dad. My dad would always be the one who was figuring out exactly where we were gonna go, what we were gonna do, where we were gonna stay, what we were gonna eat. Like, all of it came down to him. Obviously, my mom would help him, like if we were gonna cook inside some days, but the restaurants, the plannings, the outings we all did, it came down to him. And I don't want you to make the same mistake I did because a lot of my drug use honestly came from the fact that I was rejecting the responsibilities that I had as a man, as a human. And the reason I think this doesn't apply to just men is because when my mom died last year, I realized I have to become my own mother too. And it happened sooner for me than I expected. Because I'm 25. I would argue that most people that are 25 haven't lost their mom yet. But, and again, you never know. Some people never grew up with a mom. So eventually I realized instead of blaming my circumstances on the fact that my mom isn't here, I could actually just take responsibility for the fact that she isn't, accept that, and then try to move on. Because nobody really cares what you're going through if you're treating them like shit. Right? That's just the bottom of the barrel trying to climb up by pulling other people down. And nobody wants to be around for that. So, being your own mother means lifting yourself up when it's time. It means appreciating yourself when you've done something right. It means praising yourself and literally patting yourself on the back or clapping for yourself when you did something that you were supposed to do and you did it well. Or patting yourself on the back when you did something or rather didn't do something that you wanted to do, but you knew that was bad for you. Like, it's all of these things. And being an adult is a lot of responsibility. Better to accept that it is what it is and find out the best way to do it. Be your own father. Give yourself the motivation you need. Don't try to run away from the responsibility. Claim it. Realize that without responsibility, what are we? Without people to hold us accountable, why would we even show up? And so you have to be the person that holds yourself accountable first. You have to be the person that gives yourself the right things to think about. You have to be the person that is holding your frequency and your vibration at a high level as much as possible throughout the day as you can. I'm always looking for the next challenge. And when I realized that I had to become my own father, it gave me a lot of insight on the things that I had to do, the things that I should avoid, the challenges that I should take. Because if you think about the father role, he's challenging his sons and his daughters to become better people. He's teaching them by being the example. I have to be an example to me, which sounds weird, but it's really the only way. Because if you can't lead yourself, who can you lead? If you can't tell yourself that you're going to do something and then actually follow through, who can you trust? Everything starts within, and it all starts with you figuring out how to think the right way, how to feel the right way, how to be the right way. Being your own father, I didn't want to accept the fact that my own dad could have, or should have, or would have taught me certain things that I needed to learn in life, and that it wasn't going to happen. And I kind of got annoyed by the fact that my dad wouldn't be able to teach me certain things that I really felt I needed to know about. But then I realized that that's kind of a blessing, because people that are taught by their fathers, in a certain way, they're naturals. They don't necessarily realize that they've taken the time to learn something because it was modeled before them. It was modeled right in front of them. It's like those guys that are really confident, and then you look at their dad and their dad's really confident. And you're like, how did you learn confidence? And the guy's like, I've just always been this way. So it's a blessing when you have to learn things on your own, because then you can track the progress of what you're doing. You can look back and you can actually help other people, perhaps even more than the natural can. And so I took all of those things, and I took my petty self that wanted my dad to teach me things that he never possibly could, because he never learned how to do it himself. And I used that as motivation to become my own father, to become a better person, and to actually go out and seek the information, to look at the books and to learn from them. Dreams from my father. All of these things. When you become a man, you put away childish things. For about a month, maybe a month and a half, I haven't smoked weed, drank alcohol. I even quit vaping, which I had quit for a long time and then picked back up and then quit, picked back up, but I haven't even done it or thought about it really in a while. And if I was my own father, I'd be proud of myself. If I was my own father, I would have told myself, hey, don't you think it's time to live life in a different way? Don't you think it's time to start working on yourself a little bit harder? Don't you think it's time to start envisioning a better future for yourself? Otherwise, what kind of life do you want to live? Don't wish it was easier. Peace.